That's something very pertinent, a higher threshold for pain. I think Iran at this point, given the way they have conducted themselves and how they're taking the attacks, they've taken a good amount of beating. There is no denying that. A good amount of damage has been carried out inside Iran, in their oil facilities, in their military capabilities. But they're not stopping. Those drones and those missiles are being shot. Maybe lesser in number, lesser in frequency, but it doesn't stop. And that just tells you that they're not willing to give up. And I think that is something which is keeping this war going further. Coming back to the security of the Strait of Hormuz, now the latest message that has come out from Donald Trump, he's mentioned France, South Korea, China, UK, among others, expecting them to now bring in their military assets to secure shipping lines in the Strait of Hormuz, to secure other vessels from transiting or while they transit. Earlier, it was the US that they were going to do it themselves. How do you see this one?
Well, any instability in this region has global implications for trade, energy markets, and geopolitical balance. You're talking about if the shipping lane is disrupted, the economic consequences will be felt not only in the Middle East, but across Asia in the global economy. And as we talked about earlier, there is a midterm around the corner. The American people do not want to see higher gas prices. They don't want to see higher cost of groceries. People were already complaining about the cost of goods and different sorts of services. So I think that the United States has a much more interest in addressing this conflict, which is why the United States is calling out other countries and asking other countries to support the United States in fighting Iran, and in particular in protecting the Strait of Hormuz, because it is in the United States' strategic interest to ensure that the cost of groceries, the cost of gasoline, and the cost of other goods do not go up, especially as we are awaiting a midterm that I think is going to be quite contentious in America.
Joanna, I just want you to analyze this for me. When you look at it, the alliance, NATO, and the scare has always been that you attack one and they all come back in their own defense. Here, the US, the biggest contributor to the NATO alliance, is, I would say, has carried out, and Trump said it himself, that we are the ones who carried out the attack first. They've started this. And he's the one who's having to go back and ask all these other countries, non-NATO members as well, to come out and secure what has been damaged because of the war started by the US. Does it kind of pull the curtain down on how NATO functions? How do you analyze it?
Well, first and foremost, I think when President Trump talks about countries in Europe increasing their military spending in comparison to what the United States spends, I think this is part of the problem from the United States perspective, certainly from the Trump administration's perspective, so that when issues such as this, and the United States, who is a member of NATO, which Article 5 states, when one member is attacked, they're all or to join, right? But in this case, the United States was not attacked. It was the United States that argues it attacked Iran because there was evidence that Iran was going to attack the United States. It is debated. No one knows all the facts at this moment, but that's what Article 5 says. One member is attacked, the others have to join. So I think that we're going to have to wait and see what will happen. But I think many of the countries are probably analyzing this to be a very short-lived conflict. So they're probably watching to see which way are we going to go. We saw that Secretary Marco Rubio spoke at the Munich Security Conference, reaffirming to NATO members and United States friends and allies in Europe that the United States stand behind you, but there are certain steps that you must take to strengthen that alliance so that we can take on the world together.
Joanna LeBlanc, thank you so much for your time. Always a pleasure speaking with you. We'll look forward to speaking with you again.
Likewise, thank you.